So thank you for being here for this seminar about APCE finances. And I just wanted to, going to share my screen and go over a little bit about what brought us here and um, and what that means. So this all started last year with a conversation from a region that needed a certificate of insurance coverage for their regional event. And in contacting the insurance company, the insurance agent started asking questions like, well, are the board of directors under the control of the organization? Do you have full financial controls of this um, entity? And all of these questions, and really said we can't insure unless. And so it started with insurance, and that's what is leading to some of these changes. So what we've learned is that it is legal for a 501c3 organization to have internal subgroups, like regions, like networks, that use our tax exempt status, and maintain designated funds for those internal subgroups, as long as, this is the official phrasing, as long as the overall organization retains financial oversight and includes those activities in the reporting. So when we are audited next time, we will need to show that if there are finances for a network, where they are, how much it is, and it has to be included in the income and the reporting of APCE to the federal government and in our tax returns. This has been done very loosely in the past, but things like this are getting tightened up. So our strategy right now is that we're going to create designated accounts or funds within our system for each network, so that the funds will be clearly marked for I use regional here in the slide, regional network use, that we can say, yes, we have oversight, and that everything will be kind of clear, transparent, and compliant, to use that word. Right now, as I said, regions are not covered by APCE's insurance and cannot be if you have your own finances. And so they have to be overseen by the executive council. The board is the official language of APCE, and we need to include them in our accounting. If you are included under this larger APCE umbrella, then you can use our own tax exempt status for your region's activities. But these other things are needed. So you basically have two options. One is to become your own nonprofit with your own insurance, and would need to show that you are insured, or transfer the financial assets into the APCE financial system to ensure accountability and transparency, as well as legal compliance. So when your region, your network makes a decision that you want to be, so there's two ways that this can go, and I'm going to say this, especially with Liz being present as a representative of CIRCA and the Reformed Church of America. You could, as a partner, because CIRCA is a partner with APCE, you'll maintain your own maintain your own organization, but you would also then need to also maintain your own insurance or get it through the RCA in some way. We just can't cover you under the insurance or under nonprofit status if you're a partner, because the assumption is that partners have that for themselves. Um, when you are, so if you are a region that is planning to become a network, what you would need to do is close your books, hopefully by the end of this fiscal year. One of the regions yesterday is just sending out, making decisions next week about scholarships, then we'll send out the checks, and they hope they'll all be cashed by the end of the year so that they can close the accounts at the end of the year and send funds to APCE. So checks should be mailed to me. I'm the co-treasurer with APCE in the title at 2608 West 102nd Street in Bloomington, Minnesota, 55431. Make sure that any check that comes clearly has your region listed, like in the memo line on the, with a cover letter or something, so that when I deposit the check, I will immediately move it into its own line item, its own account with your name on that account. And I will send you a note as soon as it's deposited and I've set up that account, that designated account for you. Right now, our plan is to keep our designated funds in a money market account. We've been earning nice interest on them this year, and we will then transfer that interest into the designated accounts rather than trying to do this regularly, because we might end up with a dozen designated accounts. We are going to make a commitment to do it at the end of each calendar year. So with the December statement, we will tally up the interest that's come in and divide it and distribute it to the different designated accounts based upon how much you have in the account. We would want to know who is going to take primary responsibility, financial responsibility for your network, so that we don't have 10 or 15 people sending in payment requests. We want to know that there's a person that they go to who is screening them, approving them, and then sending them on to Jim Monette, my co-treasurer. I basically deal with the income for the organization, and Jim deals with the expenses and paying the bills. He's also our insurance guy and works with funds development. So we each have some areas that we do besides income and expenses. But Jim is the key person. We were asked yesterday about how long it takes from when he receives a request for payment. Generally, he suggests allowing about 5 days. Several times a week, he goes on and will process any requests that have come in, and so you can usually count on a 5-day turnaround from when he gets it till when the check is in the mail. We cannot control the mail. We've learned that with checks this year. If there's an immediate need, like, oh my gosh, I forgot to write the check for the keynote speaker and I really need it in three days, or I need it this weekend, Jim invites people to text him directly. So I have his phone number here on the screen so that he can take care of it no matter where he is. He's usually very good about putting on an away message if he's on vacation, and yet he's also willing, if there's an urgent need when he's on vacation, if as long as he's in the country, he will go ahead and forward the request and get it processing for you. One of the things that we talked about was the fact that many of the regions have regional events, and collect money for that and distribute money from those things. And in talking this over with Tom Cunningham, our executive director, Carrie Pressler, who's our administrative officer, will work with you if you want to do your registration for any events that you have through APCE's website, which is, we use an app called Member Planet. That's what we use to register for the annual event. It can also be much simpler, so if you're doing a retreat for rest and relaxation, I mean, it can just be as simple as name, address, phone number, email, and payment for the event. The funds would then go into Member Planet, and I do the accounting for Member Planet, so you don't have to be sending things to me. It would get credited to your account at the end of each month. Well, I should say the beginning of each month. I wait till the end of a fiscal month. So this week, in first week of November, I'm finishing up the finances for October, because October 31st, all the books were closed on our accounts, and then I go in and gather all that information and give it to our accountant to enter into the proper lines. If you do your registrations by paper, that's fine. Just have the checks made out to APCE rather than the name of your region, and then send them to me to deposit. And again, with a note, these are for our East region, or these are for South Central region, and I will deposit them accordingly and send you confirmation. And any requisitions that you have for your event, you can send to Jim Monette, and he will make sure that the checks are issued for you. The other thing, here we go. Funding going forward, this was also raised at our first seminar, was, we've counted on the rebates from APCE for our activities, and, where can we get money if we need more money in the future? It's a really good question. One of the reasons for changing the rebates is that they weren't being used by most of the regions, and they just sat. We'd rather have our funds be actively engaged in mission and in work and in ministry. When we changed our structure, we took any remaining funds we gave people a year and a half notice through the connecting ministry team, the connectors. Were given forms to fill out to talk with their region and determine what do you want to do with your money. A couple of them said, please put it into the scholarship fund. And so we did that. Others said, please make it a general donation to APCE. And so we did that. Others said, send it to me. Don't send it to our region. We don't want to lose it for our regional ministry. And so we did that. Nonetheless, there were a group that did not respond. And so we have commingled those funds now into a designated account for networks in general. We have about $7,000, a little bit more than $7,000 in that account right now. And the Connect mission team will be working to put together the process for how your region, your network going forward can apply for those funds. So we do have a little pool of funds available right now. We also want to make you aware that the endowment funds earnings are available for programmatic purposes. I think that the former endowment ministry team really liked to give to projects that included a number of people. So I think regional events would certainly fit into that type of desire. Um, we take each quarter, we take quarterly statements, we keep track of those quarterly statements, and at the after June, at some point during the summertime, we determine how much of our endowments are available, what the earnings are that can be spent. We have a whole endowment policy as an organization, and part of that policy is what we can spend and what we can spend it on. And it's roughly 4% annually from of the total amount in our endowments are available for grants. And the Sustain Mission Team is the group that has the oversight of the endowment funds that are available each year. This year, it's approximately $13,000 that they have that they could distribute. They also want to keep track of who's using those funds and what is happening with those funds so that we can continue to make the case as we build those funds so we have even more money available to share for innovative ministries, for places that just don't have much available to them. So that is another source of funding going forward. And the third one that we brainstormed was potential sponsorships if you have an annual event as a network. It could be an organization, it could be one of our partners, it could be churches in your region who happen to have funds that are set aside for faith formation, for Christian education. I know that I have a fund in the Synod of Lakes and Prairies where I work that is for the furthering of Christian formation in the state of Iowa. So I offer resources and scholarships to folks who live and work in Iowa to attend APCE and for other faith formation events that they have going on. So it's a matter of learning the region, especially as we are living into our vision of partnership and figuring out for most region, well, the history of regions is that they were set up primarily on Presbyterian synod boundaries. And now we're not just Presbyterian. We haven't been just Presbyterian, but that was still an operating principle. And so we're hoping that with the networks, we can broaden our partnership participation in networks and be able to reach out to our partner denominations and engage them in network activities as well. So that is what I have for you. And in terms of the changes in funding and the why, what to do, and where you might find funds moving into the future. Any questions or comments that I can answer before we call it a day here? Did that answer your questions?
I thought I had a question, but now I can't remember it.
Yeah, this is all really helpful for me. I don't really get involved in what Circa does, as a region, but I have been very curious about, what does it mean to move from being a region to being a network? And I think I probably still need to get some more honed in on that specifically, but this is all very helpful. Thanks, Deb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Betty, do any questions come up for you? Wait, we can't hear you.
that would be the story of my day. I would just realize that the external speaker on my computer wasn't working. So I've been reading the very interesting spellings of APCE as you were speaking. It's always fun. But yeah, I thought that was pretty thorough. So I'll look forward to, and we'll talk more about how this information can be disseminated. I know there's at least one other region, SOAP, that probably needs to hear all of this.
Yes. Yes.
Of the ones that I'm pretty sure have accounts.
Okay. That's great. And I have Liz and Betty's emails. Virginia, if you might be willing to put your email into the chat, I will send you the slides so that you can have them for your regional meetings. And
Sure.
and if you want the video, you're more than welcome to have it. But otherwise, I will send you the slides. So thank you all so much for coming. My email address is treasurer@apcenet.org. So pretty simple. Jim's is co-treasurer@apcenet.org, so that we want to be accessible to you and be responsive if you do have questions along the way. So thank you all so much for being here, and blessings on the rest of your day.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much, Deb.
much. Nice to be with you all. God bless you. Thanks, Deb.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
for
Bye.
now. Bye.